Kristen Shaw with Airport Improvement Magazine, and I'm here with Ravi Singh from Leonardo Company. Hi, Ravi.
Thank you, Kristen, very much. I'm good. How about you?
Good, good. I am looking forward to hearing about Leonardo. And first, tell our viewers, what's your role in the business?
Okay. I am looking after the baggage handling system sales for the entire North American market for Leonardo's company. Yes, it's a big job, and we have to, let's say, US is one of our strategic market, and you will see a lot of things of Leonardo coming up into the US market. And this exhibition is one of the part. And thanks for you to have this a nice conversation. I'm really looking forward for it.
Awesome. Well, let's get started. Let's talk first a little bit about Leonardo. What does Leonardo do? We can see here behind us showing some baggage handling systems. Give us a summary.
Yes, Leonardo is the largest Italian industrial group. So we are in aerospace, defense, security, and automation. And it is the largest industrial group. We have about 15 billion US dollars of revenues, and we spend a huge amount of money in research and development. So about 12% of our revenues goes into R&D. So most of our systems are state-of-the-art systems, and they can add value to our customers. And we are here in aviation sector. We are in aircraft, helicopters, defense systems, as I said, and this part is more into the airports.
And tell me a little bit more, drill down into your US presence.
Okay, well, in US, it's considered one of our domestic market for Leonardo, and you will be surprised to know that we have about 7,300 employees based in US. So they are based in Washington, in Philadelphia, and Kansas cities, and we are expanding as we considered US as one of our domestic market for Leonardo.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your airport portfolio and how those 7,000 plus airports work.
Yes. Leonardo has a big airport portfolio. We are there in air traffic management systems. We are the leaders. We have installed in more than 180 countries. We are there in ground communications as well, in the security and the safety aspects, cyber security aspects concerning the airports. And finally, we are also there in the baggage handling systems. And this is where I come from, doing the sales for the baggage handling systems.
Well, that's a perfect segue to my next question, which is what is new in baggage handling technology?
Well, Leonardo is delighted to bring one of the state-of-the-art baggage handling systems technology based on innovative crossbelt sortation system.
Crossbelt sortation system. Okay, tell me more.
The idea is it gives gentle handling to the baggages, and why it's called the crossbelt, because as you have seen in some of the videos over here, that the baggage moves forward on the sorter, and for the loading and the unloading part, it is perpendicular to the motion of the sorter for the loading and unloading. That's why it is called cross-belt sortation technology.
That makes sense. So it gently pushes along instead of the sharp angles maybe that they've had before.
Yes. The main aim of this is to have a very gentle handling, so the final passengers who come out with their baggages, they are happy. We want to see more smiles on their face, that their baggage arrive on time and without any damages or the lost baggage or the missing items. So,
yeah, I prefer to get my baggage not bashed in.
Yes, and we will make sure that our systems make you happy, and we want to see a smile on your face.
Tell me some of the airports that are already using this.
Oh, that's a very good question. So as I said, that there are quite a lot of benefits associated with the systems, and it has been adopted by some of the most prestigious airports worldwide. So just to give an example, it was adopted by Hong Kong International Airport, and I was the sales manager for that particular bid. And then we have installed our systems in biggest airports in Europe. We have installed our systems in Frankfurt International Airport, in Paris Orly. So Paris is a good reference. We have installed our systems in Rome. We have installed our systems in Zurich, Lyon. So we have done a good business in most part of the world.
Yeah, those are prestigious airports as well. I mean, Hong Kong for sure.
Yes.
Paris Orly, Frankfurt. I mean, those are big operations.
Yes, and they are, let's say, leaders. Like, they adopt the technologies, and many times, like the other airports do follow. They look into these airports to see, the technology is going there. Let's try to get and adopt these technologies in their airports as well. So these are very prestigious airports.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, here in the United States, baggage is similar right around the world, but it's a little bit different. Here, people really like to golf, and there's other big bags like that,
Yes.
or car seats, things that are bulky
Yes.
and odd. Like, can this new system handle that?
Oh yes, and it's a good news to all the golf lovers in US, because when I have talked to some of the airlines in US, and one of their biggest concern was how we can handle the golf bag. US guys are golf lovers, as well as how they can handle the difficult baggages, like the baggages which have round shaped, or the baggages which has stripes which can easily stuck in the traditional baggage handling systems, and the baggages with round shape with plastic wraps and all these things. And we can solve these challenging baggages using the Crossbelt sortation system. Just to give an example, for the golf bag is not an OOG, it's not out of the gauge baggage, but it's larger than the standard size of the baggages.
For sure.
And what we can do is, when we load the baggages into the sorter, we can, instead of using one sorter cell for one bag, we can automatically allocate. So the integration is seamless. So the golf bag can enter into the sorter in two cells, and when we have to unload the baggages, the two cells can work in tandem, and we can unload the golf bag at the right place. So that will make our golf lovers very happy in the US, and we are looking forward for that.
What else do you think U.S. customers, airports, and passengers really ultimately are going to appreciate about the Crossbelt technology?
Yes. Usually, like if you see worldwide, like you were the first ones to build airports. Like the average age of airports in US is about 40 years.
Right.
So most of the baggage handling systems are at the end of their life cycles, and they are more, let's say, legacy systems. So they are still, like in most of the airports, they are using conveyor technologies, diverters, pushers, and carousels and all these stuff. So these are highly mechanical in nature, subjected to wear and tear, and relatively they have much lower, let's say, the throughput requirements. And I think these are some of the challenges which probably some of the technologies like Crossbelt can help get rid of these bottlenecks with the legacy systems in US.
And I understand that these systems have a low operations and maintenance cost. How does that
Yes.
work? How can you do that with this new technology?
As you can see, these machines, these are very sophisticated machines, a lot of software controlled stuff, and there are very less mechanical parts which are moving inside the sortation system. So just to give an example, like the way the sorter moves forward is not based on the normal motors, rotary motors, which are subjected to wear and tear.
For sure.
These are based on linear motors. So you pass the current to the linear motors, and we have permanent magnets at the bottom of the carts. And once you pass the current, it attracts and it moves without touching, like the linear motors. Similarly, when you have to give the power to the Crossbelt for loading and unloading operations, these power is transferred with contactlessly by inductive power transmission. So there are no sliding contacts. It's all transferred with IPT. So there's no mechanical components. It doesn't depend on dust and all these stuff, and it increases the reliability of the system. And lastly, even the control systems in this sorter is based on Wi-Fi. It creates a small Wi-Fi network along the length of the sorter, and it does not have any interference with the airport frequencies. The idea is, which I would like to say, is this is a very electronic sorter. So there's no mechanical components involved. And since it is electronic sorter, the operations and maintenance cost of these systems are really, really, really very low. You don't need too much of spare parts. You don't need too much of people like doing the operations and the maintenance job.
That's a big deal because the cost can be extraordinary.
Yes.
And so this could last a long time.
Yes, and I think especially in the US context, where many of the baggage handling systems are run by the airlines, and they are more into like operations and maintenance, and some of these systems can add value to the airlines as well to make the systems more competitive, and let's say less of these costs related to the operations and maintenance.
And passengers will ultimately appreciate that.
Yes. Passengers will like. I think the aim of our system is to make and see the smiles on the face of passengers, because I have seen in the past a lot of passengers when they do not get their baggage, there's mishandling of the baggages, there is a missortation, and you imagine how your whole like travel program, whether it is for business or whether it is for your leisure travel, it goes all haywire. So
Oh yeah, I've been there. I know how that feels. Nobody likes that, right? People are traveling now again,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The travel's picking up exponentially.
yes.
What's your take on COVID recovery?
I think US is one of the place which Leonardo believes where the recovery from the COVID will be the fastest, because that's a good news for the US market as well, because most of, let's say, the traffic passenger over here is about 85% domestic, which is not subjected to international restrictions over traveling. And I think that already I was talking to a lot of airlines and stuff. They are already saying that the demand is picking up, and we believe that US will lead the recovery in the aviation sector. We are very confident about it. Yes.
That's good news for us in
Yes.
North America, for sure. And as you mentioned, in North America, the airports have been around 40 years or so,
Yes.
and mostly brownfield.
Yes.
So how does this technology help the brownfield airports?
That's a very, very good question, Christine. As also, I think the effect of COVID is probably in terms of investment, I guess, most of the investments will be in the brownfield terminals and the airports to upgrade the systems. This we see in the next 3 to 5 years, a lot of baggage handling systems upgradation project coming up, because the new terminals, I think, will see recovery, I think, in a longer term. And some of these, the technology of the Crossbelt is probably a right fit for the brownfield airports.
Ravi, we talked a little bit about the age of U.S. airports, especially, right? They're in the 40-year range, so mostly brownfield airports.
Yes.
How does this technology help them?
That's a very interesting question. And as you pointed out, the average age of US airport is 40 years. So they are at the end of their life cycle, especially the baggage handling systems. They are very traditional system based on conveyors, diverters and pushers. What the cross-belt sortation technology can be helpful in the brownfield airport is because of its compact profile. The height of the sorter is compact, so you don't have to change the existing building infrastructures, be it the pillars, be it the wiring or the pipelines or the pipings going on. You don't have to change because our system is compact enough, and it will, most of the cases, we have a huge experience in the brownfield airports where we managed to install a BHS system without changing the building, the terminal building, and that adds a lot of advantages, let's say, to our customers. And the other thing which is more important is the amount of throughput with these machines. Like with the cross-belt sortation system, you can have the throughput, the baggages per hour, of the tune of about 8,400 baggages per hour. With the traditional systems, it is about 2,000 to 2,500 baggages per hour.
It's a huge difference.
It's almost the 3 times more throughput. So imagine, like, a lot of conveyors and the other traditional systems could be replaced, and you can put a smaller footprint cross-belt sortation systems. And imagine, space is premium in airports, so they can use this space in other non-baggage handling systems things. So that can add real value, and that's why we enter into very neatly into the BHS upgrade market. Yes.
So space being at a premium, is one sorter loop enough?
Usually, yes, the reliability of the sorter is very high. The availability and the reliability of the sorter, because it's basically an electronic sorter, so it's not subjected to wear and tear with these things. So the reliability of the sorter is really, really very high. And we have built a lot of redundancies inside one loop. So it seems one loop, but the name is multi-sortation baggage handling systems, this cross-belt. So in this one sorter loop, there are logically many different sorter loops. So how it works, like we have a head of the train, and that controls 12 cells of the cross-belt sorter, right? So that's the PLC that makes the decision. So even if one of the cell, let's say, is not working for some reasons, you can disable that cell and the sorter continues to move. And the fact that it's all contactless technology, so there is no friction, it goes as smooth as if nothing has happened. Let's say in the worst case, it has never happened. Even the PLC in the head train fails, the other trains can still continue to run, and we have the linear motors which can like pull the sorters again. So the customers will never have a downtime because of these inherent redundancies. And to answer your question, which was a very good question, we can do a lot of things with one loop. Apart from the throughput is always high with this technology. It's a state-of-the-art technology. But what you can do is with one loop, you can do the pre-sortation. That is, you can distribute the baggages into the screening machines. You can optimize the number of screening machines. So you can, instead of, let's say, having 20 screening machines in an airport, with this sorter which can distribute, let's say, the flux of the baggages in a very optimized manner, you can reduce a number of screening machines, and that TSA can save a good amount of money in terms of the reduced number of screening machines. And with the same sorter loop, because the tracking is 100%, with the same sorter you can also do the makeup. So you can unload the baggages at the right destination, so the baggage is always on board on the right flight. So this is some of these optimizations, and the question is very valid. Like with one sorter loop, we can do both pre-sortation as well as the final makeup sortation.
Yeah, it's critical. A lot of good improvements. So I want to see it. This sounds all very fascinating. Where can I go see it?
Yes, I always think that seeing is believing. So I would like to take this opportunity to invite all the stakeholders in US who would like to see this innovative technologies of Crossbelt. We would like to invite you to one of the most beautiful city I've ever seen. You are all invited to Rome. And apart from the baggage handling systems, you can enjoy good Italian weather, Italian wine, Italian pizza, and I think it will be a good experience to go into the details of the BHS together with the Italian context.
Very tempting. Molto grazie.
Yes. Thanks a lot, Christine. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Pleasure.